What's up, Montezuma Mesa? This is the Aztecs Show. We are talking Aztec men's basketball and much, much more. With Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, and Jason Eidsmoe, it's time to let your voice be heard. What's up, Montezuma Mesa? This is the Aztec Show. As you well know, Aztecs fell to number 6 Arizona, 69-60. But in my opinion, and I'm sure Justin will agree with me, what a great atmosphere. Oh, man. The crowd was crazy, and ultimately, in my opinion, the Aztecs played pretty solid against the number 6 team in the nation.
Yeah, you hit it on the head. First of all, amazing atmosphere. Great job by the crowd. They packed in like sardines. It was like a playoff game at Qualcomm. It was flat, towels waving. The intensity was high. Number 6 is in town. We're looking for the big road upset. So, it's one of those things you really appreciate because San Diego doesn't have a lot of drama at times. We don't get to the playoffs very often.
Right.
But playoff atmosphere is really just, I don't know what the word is. I love that kind of atmosphere. College basketball is definitely in town in San Diego.
Well, like you and I have said, or felt, I should say, most of the time is every time they do the I Believe chant, you get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Well, that was like that the whole game.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've noticed with a college sporting event compared to a professional sporting event is the college sporting events are so much more in depth as far as their chants, their cheers, their excitement.
Band playing, all kinds of stuff going on.
They keep the noise loud constantly where, if you go to a professional venue, like I've been to a Laker game, and they only get excited when something magical happens.
Right.
And the nice thing about going to a college event is they're in it 100% of the time from tip off to the final whistle.
Yeah, no, I agree that the Viejas Center and being so downhill and it's kind of concave to fit. 14,000 people. It just echoes in that place. So when it gets loud, it really gets into the opponent's head.
Yeah, I haven't been to an Aztecs game since they started doing the I Believe chant. I went to one a few years back, and I thought it was really exciting going. Anyways, I want to maybe try and catch a game this year.
We're going to get you
and be part of that one. I went to a football game, and of course the Aztecs football isn't the crowd's not as large, but it's a different atmosphere with the band playing. That was a great point. It is really neat. It's much different than going to a pro game.
Yep.
Arizona had a 14-point lead midway through the second half. San Diego State rallied, closed within 4 points on a Thames layup with less than 2 minutes remaining. Then we got the ball back again. Shrigley goes down. He kind of got caught between a layup and a dunk, and unfortunately that offensive possession didn't come to fruition. They take the ball, we foul them, they make a 1-and-1. It became a constant theme with less than a minute left. Aztecs couldn't get that big shot in and had to keep fouling to try to stay in the game, and ultimately that was the separation in the outcome.
Yeah, the discrepancy there was very small. You can't make many mistakes against a 6 team in the nation. Rebounding wasn't very good by the Aztecs, which I thought would be a plus side for the Aztecs this year. Just didn't match up with their bigs inside. That big 7-footer, I can't even pronounce his name, Krzyzewski or whatever.
Tarczewski.
That guy was a beast.
He was a monster under the boards. He was pushing Josh Davis around pretty good, but I saw a lot of the times Josh Davis really wasn't in the right position.
Right.
I think he's going to grasp this defensive scheme soon. He from Tulane, man. When you watch some of the highlights, he was a beast on defense.
Right.
Maybe it's just a comfortability type thing. Maybe he's not comfortable yet in this defensive side where he can make a big impact. But he just didn't really show up on the boards. He didn't get those rebounds that we thought we might see early on in the season. So I think over time it's going to be like a rookie coming into a new system. You got to give him a little time. He's going to be a beast for us all year long going into conference play. So
well, and on the offensive side of the ball as well, Josh Davis. is basically the man, at least on paper and what everybody's talking about. He's supposed to be the producer.
Right.
And I think Arizona did well in quieting him. I mean, he had 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting. And, when you took him out of the game, somebody else had to step up.
Right.
Unfortunately, Thames really didn't get into the mix till really late in the game. If we would have got a little more offensive production from him earlier, but I think they kept trying to pound it into Josh Davis, and just didn't work out. But the Aztecs played very aggressive on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
They got Arizona into huge foul trouble. At one time, their starting 5 had 3 or 4 fouls respectively.
Yeah.
And, we're chanting from the stands, they're in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Keep running it into the paint,
right.
Because it's like we'd start knocking these guys out. That was with like 5 minutes left.
Right.
We start getting these guys out of the game. All of a sudden, their backups come in. Maybe we get a better chance at making a run.
Couple easy buckets, maybe get us within a few points.
But hats off to Arizona, and that's the reason why they're the number 6 team in the nation right now. Is they play well. They're smart. Nick Johnson is a great athlete. Unfortunately, I can't stand the guy myself. Yeah. I was really hoping that he would choke down the line because we kept putting him on the line.
He's very good, man.
But I was very pleased on the offensive side of the ball as far as being aggressive, getting in the paint, and getting Arizona in foul trouble.
Yeah, we have to remember Coach Fisher's still getting his lineup set. He's not. This is the first time in his history of coaching, and that's saying something. He's had 11 players that can actually play on the floor at the same time. So he's going to be hard-pressed to get everybody involved. I was wondering where a few players were, like Dwayne Poley for his size and maybe on the defensive side. But I thought a good mix later in the game was Darrell Williams and Dakari Allen came in for defense. Dakari Allen can actually...
he's a stud.
He's a stud. Besides getting to the rack all the time on the offensive side, guy can flat out cover and guard. Darrell Williams can They came from the same high school. He can flat out guard. When they were in the game, they caused I think 3 or 4 turnovers with that crowd going crazy and transition buckets, and it really, really uplifted the whole stadium. Was going nuts, and it really got us within. I think it was when we got in with within 4 points.
Right.
It really uplifted the team. So I think
the crowd went berserk.
That was crazy. And when I think Coach Fisher obviously notes that. He's looking what are his defensive lineups against good offenses such as Arizona. I think later down in down the road conference play we got some tough teams matchups. Darrell Williams and Dakari Allen's going to be as freshmen being a huge part of this team.
Well, you said earlier that they're still trying to get their lineup set up. Mm-hmm. I actually heard an interview with Dutcher earlier this week, and he's talking about some of the when they're practicing some of the drills they're doing. Sometimes the 2s actually outplay the 1s,
right? And
I think that was a great point. I think that early in the year, this is. Unfortunately they lost to Arizona, but this is a chance for them to kind of they got to get everything figured out because by the time tournament time gets here, we want them to know what's going on.
That's a great point. And the funny thing about college basketball, guys, we all know this. You can come in as a freshman. There's a lot of freshmen that are one and done in college basketball. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying we have that on the Aztecs,
right?
But there's a lot of guys that can come right in and contribute, like a Dakari Allen, like Shrigley as a redshirt freshman. These guys can play, and it's not just you're a freshman, you can't play. Get in here and contribute. And you saw that against Arizona.
Now, do you guys think that Davis maybe put a little bit too much pressure on himself being the man?
I think so.
I think there was some pressure on his shoulders, absolutely. I think he went into the game, because of everybody talking, whether it's media or, players, fans, coaches. They expect him to be that guy in the middle, the guy that we can drop it down low and, he can battle in the paint and put some points on the board, grab some boards. But at the same time, you gotta have more offensive threats. If it's Josh Davis and Josh Davis alone that you're trying to score with, they're just going to key on him. So somebody else has got to take some shots, and it's kind of like when we talk on our football show, by throwing the ball down the field or by opening up the run, it opens up the pass.
Right.
Same with basketball. You got to have multiple people that are a threat offensively if those big guys like Josh Davis is going to put up points.
Right. Agreed with you. I think good point by you, Jason. I think he did put a little pressure on himself. Coming from a smaller college in Tulane, you don't play giant games like that in one of the most raucous arenas in college basketball, and it's been dubbed that, by the way. I can say that for ESPN.
Yeah.
But he's probably going, holy cow. And he probably got out there, and I'm not saying he was like really nervous or he had stage fright. I'm just saying he's probably going, holy cow, I'm the new guy here and I'm supposed to produce. This is a big, big moment for me. You know, maybe he put that weight on his shoulders and he maybe just had a rough game.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be a lot more successful when you have, and you don't have to have a specific player, the same guy each game step up.
Right.
But I think we're going to have somebody else on the offensive side of the ball. It could be somebody different every game. Step up and take on that secondary role.
Right.
And who knows who's it going to be.
And that's a good point. I saw a lot of the times where X was playing in the 2 spot and they were doing ball screens to get him the ball because he is a good scorer.
Right. That was late in the game and he was draining it.
And it was great. And we saw him off ball screens and he'd pull up and hit, and I'm going, that's going to work for us. And Darrell's in the game.
Yeah, that's when Darrell was at the point.
He looked like Darrell could handle the ball, bring it up court, not make mistakes, and maybe give X-Thames some more opportunities to shoot the basketball.
Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Do you want everyone to know how diehard you really are? Do you want to stand out in a crowd? Well, us over at San Diego Sports Junkies, we got you covered. Go to sdforlife.net and pick up your diehard gear today. From shirts and hoodies to sneakers and canvas paintings, sdforlife.net has you covered. It's time for you to be diehard.
All right, guys, so the good, the bad, and the ugly with this Arizona game. Obviously, we're going to start with the good. And in my opinion, it's the way the Aztecs battled. This Arizona team is big. We've been talking all year long how big the Aztecs are, how lengthy they are. But when they had that 7-footer in the middle, he made it very, very challenging on this Aztec squad to be successful in the paint.
Yeah, he created a lot of mismatch problems. To have a 7-footer that's athletic as he is, posting up on your 6'10" big guys and just having his way with them, that throws a red flag for you. But they're the number 6 team in the nation for a reason. They have athletes all over the floor. Coming in, I didn't expect them to win the game. I thought they had a chance to be in this game and have an opportunity to maybe win at the end. It kind of played out how I thought it would be. I thought they, like you said, they played hard. They played tough, determined basketball. They didn't let the lead get away, or their lead get away from them too bad. They always clawed their way back, and I saw a little fight in them. So that for me was one of the good things that stood out for me.
As far as some more of the good, J.J. O'Brien and X-Thames both with 19 points. J.J. O'Brien, it was kind of like a tale of two halves. J.J. O'Brien was the big man in the first half, really getting a lot of ugly points in the paint, going up for offensive rebounds, putting back in. And then X-Thames, man, we really, and I was telling you during the game, somebody's got to step up. And it was X-Thames, and it was a good call by the coaches to put Darrell Williams in there, be able to free up X-Thames, and he started draining some threes, running into the paint with little teardrops. So it was nice to see some offensive production. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but still really good to see both J.J. O'Brien and X put some serious points up on the board.
Yeah, I was more. I know what X-Thames can bring with his scoring. J.J. O'Brien really impressed me. He took on Arizona single-handedly. I thought he got into the paint very well. When they rotated the ball, they would look for JJ inside, and he would make athletic moves to the basket to get a foul, to draw a foul, just to really take on those big guys, and took it upon himself. He's 6'6" himself, so he's not a small guy by any means. He really, from last year to this year, I see vast improvement with J.J. O'Brien, calling for the ball, taking leadership role, and saying, hey, this is my team too. I want to be a leader, and I want to get to the rack and help my team win. So that to me was one of the better things that I seen. And X obviously can shoot the ball well. So
absolutely. As far as the bad, and I mean, you could place a couple things here. In my opinion, and it did improve at the end, but missing too many free throws. And we were kind of talking about at halftime that we're missing a lot of opportunities there. And against a team like this, you got to make your free throws in order to stay in a game. You know, we missed 9 free throws. We shot 69% from the stripe. Those 9 free throws, granted, you're not going to make them all, but if you make half of those and you're shooting in the 80 percentile and you make a shot or two from the field, you're winning this game or you're right there.
Right.
Yeah, you want to be in the low 80s percentage-wise for free throws. I mean, in basketball in general, that's a common consensus, even the NBA. Yeah, you're not going to make all your free throws. 20 for 29 isn't terrible, but it's down the stretch. It's when the big ones count the most, and it just seemed like clank after clank, and I'm just pounding on my forehead going,
yeah, frustrating.
Come on. Yeah, very frustrating because, you know, there were some opportunities there to really hit them while they were down, like you said, with the foul trouble they had. So, yeah, need to make some improvements on free throw shooting, rebounding. Definitely get that in order as you go towards Kansas and the conference play.
And as far as the ugly, there's a few things in my mind. First and foremost, the refs.
That was bad.
Just some horrible calls. So many block shots that we had that they're saying,
fouls.
you know, we got contact. And I recorded the game. I went and watched it after the fact. And I still agree that they were some very bad calls.
Would you agree 3 or 4 of the block shots that we had, they called fouls?
Absolutely.
And they weren't.
Not only that, is they had an emphasis to start the season about the charging penalties.
Rules and hand checking.
And there was quite a few of those where, you know, the Aztecs were going into the paint and they were getting charge calls against them.
Yeah.
They were getting offensive fouls, but on the flip side, when when Arizona was going into the paint, those same calls were being made. It was a little one-sided, in my opinion, and you know you're going to run into that. But a lot of times when you run into that, it's usually the other way around. It's usually the home team that's getting the calls, not the opposing team. Whether or not that is what it is or what that mindset. The other issue is Josh Davis. Everybody expected him to really be a threat. 1 for 7 and 2 points and only 4 rebounds is just not going to cut it.
Yeah, it's very disappointing to see him struggle so bad. And like we said earlier, maybe it was jitters or whatnot. Maybe his first game playing in a huge game. I don't know how many times he's played ranked opponents. I don't know in that kind of atmosphere or situation. But yeah, it was a little disturbing to me. But I think down the road he'll get better and we'll see a better Josh Davis.
You know, I think it was good though that he had a chance to play such a highly ranked team so early.
Yes.
Let's get that out of the way.
Yes.
I think that in a month we're going to all forget about this game.
Yeah. No, I agree
or
with you.
forget about, not this game, but forget about his performance in this game.
Well, no, that's fine. Yeah, and we'll see maybe in a bigger game later as it's coming up, him perform very
He'll
at
have
a
a
high
chance
level.
to redeem himself.
Yeah, and there's plenty of games. There's 30-something games for a basketball season. So he's going to have that time to do that.
Yeah.
So the Aztecs face off tonight against San Diego Christian. School's in. San Diego Christian, obviously, they better get blown out of this building. And the Aztecs should continue their state record 34-game winning streak against teams from California.
Attaboy. That's a record that most people look at with that weird cockeyed look, like 34 in a row. Like, how do you do that? And that's one of those records that's still standing right now, and I really dig that record for some reason. I don't want to lose to a cupcake ever. But if you got
to earn the loss,
earn the loss. You know,
don't
these
make
are
it against this.
But you know, but that record even includes teams like UCLA, USC.
Yep.
So there's some good teams mixed in there.
Cal State.
But yes, for me tonight, I'd like to see some good rotation in the lineup. I'd like to see a double-double, maybe 15 to 20 points from Josh Davis this evening with 10 to 15 rebounds. I really want to see him dominate.
How about this dominating team on the boards that we were going to be hearing about?
We were hearing about that all preseason.
Maybe we can see that.
Well, Coach Fisher's been preaching it all year that these guys he's the most competitive team he's had in practice ever. So that's saying something to me.
But it needs to translate
to the game, and let's see that on the court. Let's see a double-double by him. Let's see Winston Shepard not be so passive and want to get to the hoop and create contact and make his skill set shown. I mean, he's got so much skill. That's one player I'm going to really be focused on this year. His attitude's changed. It seems like he's got a better attitude, but he really needs to stop being, like you said, passive and take it to the rack, dude.
Absolutely. And one thing I noticed in that game against Arizona, Dakari Allen had a couple offensive, shots where he just took full control and went to the hoop and, didn't hesitate
Right.
at all.
No.
And that's exactly what I want to see out of Winston Shepard. There's so many times, and you know what he did in the first half of that Arizona game. There was a time where he led a fast break and split the two defenders and laid it up, and that was nice to see.
Right.
It needs to be more consistent. I need to see more consistent scoring out of Winston Shepard. I'm very excited about this Dakari Allen. I think he's going to be very, very good for the offense. Matt Shrigley, I wouldn't be shocked if he does sit tonight just because he's battling the little ankle twist that he got at the end of the Arizona game, and being that this is not a big matchup per se.
You want to save him
you might as well save him for the tournament coming up. But I definitely look for us to get back to dominating the boards, and obviously defense leads to offense. So
definitely transition is the key for Aztec success this year because as you said, we do struggle on the offensive side, losing all of our seniors. But the one thing I'm excited about, hopefully going forward, it shows up, will be the hustle and the heart the team plays with all year, because that's going to be a really big tribute to this team this year. It's going to be my main focus, because watching UNLV the last couple weeks and watching them play, they've got a collective talent group out there that's awesome. But they can't play as a unit, and it seems like guys are dogging it. They don't want to hustle for balls, but our team does that on a nightly basis, regardless of what the score is, regardless of how much you're down. They fought their way back against Arizona. There's no quit in our dog, so to say, in this team.
Right.
And that's what I enjoy most about Steve Fisher teams. The talent might not be as high as years past,
right,
but they never give up on any game. So
And the thing, to elaborate on what you're saying, the thing that excites me about this Aztec team and about our conference is the fact that UNLV has been so uncalled shit in the bed early on. I mean, Dixie State was an exhibition game. They got blown out at home. They lose to another cupcake at home. Last night they lose to Arizona State at home. So, I mean...
UC Santa Barbara beat them at home on their own floor.
Yeah, they've lost, 3 out of 4 games at home so far, including one exhibition.
Their defense has been horrid.
And that's one thing that, this conference has been built around, is the winning at home. It's impossible to go into your opponent's house and win.
Right.
I mean, the Aztecs, I think, were 14-1 at home last year, and I think UNLV and New Mexico and even Boise State were up there. Colorado State was up there. That's one thing that, I was hoping would transition into this year, because we want to see this conference as a whole continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger, because that's only going to help
RPI ratings.
It's going to help, prospects too. I mean, people, they see the Mountain West is up there with the big dogs each and every year.
ACC.
More people are going to want to come here. So.
Right, definitely. No, and just to touch on a little bit, you have a good point there, because this conference, you don't ever want to see your own conference lose, but it's kind of funny in a way to see UNLV struggle. You do. It's like the Raiders losing. You always want to see the Raiders lose and laugh at them. But yeah, it does hurt the conference ultimately in a bad way, negative light. But they'll get it together. They'll be fine once conference play rolls around, because everybody gets up for conference play.
Yeah, and that's another big difference between pro and college, is the fact that in pros you want everybody in yours to lose.
In college,
you kind of want, you're right.
You want that opponent level to be high, not weak. So,
at San Diego _sports, they want to know, will Dwayne Poley play tonight?
I think you will. I think you get minutes. Regardless if he's a little dinged up, I think he should be okay. I think Fish wants to get him out there, because he didn't play any in the Arizona game. So
Zilch.
I kind of feel bad for him in that regard. But like we said, he has 11 guys to get in there, and if the matchups don't require his services, then they're not going to put him in the ballgame.
I was kind of surprised myself, because in the exhibition game and against that, our first game of the regular season, Poley played very well, in my opinion, blocking some shots, doing damage on the boards. Mm-hmm. So I was actually kind of surprised that he wasn't in there. Obviously, they know a lot more than we do.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They may see things that, as fans, we don't quite pick up, as far as their work ethic or their ability on the court.
He's not the biggest guy in the world.
Right.
And Arizona is huge.
Right.
And maybe that played a little factor in him not getting any PT, for the Arizona game. Those guys are thick and big.
but I would have much rather seen him out there than Josh Davis.
Well, yeah, but that's not
Not
even the same
not Josh
position.
Davis, Josh Johnson. I apologize.
Oh no, yes, I
Josh
agree with
Johnson.
you in that regard. But you
My
know
bad.
what? Fish was probably going, well, I got a big white guy too. Let's see how he does. So they throw him in there just to see how he did, and he stunk up the joint.
Big white guy that sucks.
I call Josh. I call James Johnson Big Country.
James Johnson.
I call him Big Country.
I can't even get his name right. He sucks so bad I could care
Well,
less.
and I hate to say that, he just does not fit in with his team. I'm not a big fan.
Well,
yet.
let's give it a few more games.
Yeah, no,
before we
I
make that decision.
well, he had last year too to prove
Yeah.
it a little bit, but yeah, he's long and lanky and a little clumsy. So
At this point, what, in your opinion, is the best starting five?
Ooh, good question.
right out the gate, I'll go with the starting five I had at the beginning of the year. If I had to, now is it translated from when I saw the Arizona game? So
Right now.
Okay, right now I would have to go with Darrell Williams at the point, X Thames at the 2. I'd have to put Winston at the 3. I'd have to put JJ at the 4, and I'd have to put Josh Davis at the 5 because when that lineup was in there, they were producing against the number 6 ranked team in
Now
the
Spencer
nation.
started.
Skylar Spencer started, and I would like to have him come off the bench and help with the defensive side of the ball. So that would be mine right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, just for the sheer fact that we need another scorer. And X Thames was just lighting it up,
Right.
With Darrell out there. So at this point, as far as scoring is concerned, having Darrell or Dakari Allen, at the point, having X Thames, J.J. O'Brien, Winston Shepard, and
Yes.
Josh Davis, either
Darrell-
of those two combinations, I think, is going to help on the offensive side.
Darrell, we didn't touch on. I mean, we didn't really bring it up, but he's a good facilitator of the ball.
Yes, he is.
He's for a freshman, I should
Right.
say. He's not a rookie to basketball. He's good. But the way he handles himself, he's a little thicker boned. He's not a little scrawny kid out there. He doesn't look like a freshman. And I like the way he gets to the rack. He makes a couple moves inside, and he really takes it up strong.
Right.
That's only going to get better with time. And I like the way he dishes, man. I think he's going to be a staple in this offense all year. I really do.
Absolutely. And J.J. O'Brien continues to impress.
Oh, yeah. Getting better.
So, guys, this is the Aztec Show. We're going to try to do this each and every week. Please feel free to send us your tweets, email us some questions. As always, with every show, this is for the fans.
By the fans.
And, guys, we are out.
Later.
Thank you for following the San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans by the fans. With Josh Taylor, Justin Smead, and Jason Eidsmo, we want you to subscribe to us on iTunes, follow us on Spreaker, and like us on Facebook. Also visit our website, SanDiegoSportsJunkies.com. Brought to you by SK Digital Imaging and SDForLife.net. San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans by the fans.